Hello everyone, it's Kryptonite here and welcome back to Foundry. So I've got a very special episode for you today. Today we are building the bus system. Now I've done a little bit of preparation in between episodes, and as you can see I have laid a load of foundation blocks up a few levels. Now you're probably wondering why I've done this. Now the idea that I got sort of come across is because my ore veins, I've got one over here and one over here, so not exactly directly in line with each other. I kind of thought to myself, for aesthetic purposes I would like both the resource lines to come straight down the middle. Now then I thought, well, this slot over here is going to be complete wasted space once I get rid of all of these assemblers and storage, which was just a beginner temporary setup. So what I've decided to do is utilize this space as a storage system and this sort of area as my main sort of hub. Now that means that what I wanted to do is make my bus system very clean, so I'm going to do that on the upper level, which is where we're going to have all of our assemblies doing the work, and then the underneath level that you can't really see, it's quite dark, is going to be the logistics of all the items returning into storage, which is going to be this area here. So that is the plan. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me, so this might be a little bit of a longer episode or might split it into 2 episodes, but we're going to go ahead and get it all started. So I've got 2 smelters here which are just lining up where the middle was, and at the moment I have 8 smelters on each system, but we're going to change that up a bit. We're going to make it 12 smelters for each ore, because the miners themselves produce 60 ores per minute, and the smelters, as you can see over here, they do 20 per minute output. So that means we can have 3 smelters per 1 miner, so we're going to increase our production load there. That means that we're going to have, instead of just 1 belt of plates and 1 of rods for the bus system, we're going to have 2 of each, because the belts, as you can see over here, they do 160 per minute. So with the belts being 160 per minute, that does limit us to the 8 smelters we have here. So if we're having 12 smelters, we need a little bit of extra leg room so we're not blocking up the system, so that's why we're going to have 2 belts on each. So without further ado, let's get to dismantling some of these. We'll probably leave this lot here for now. We'll just sort out the belts and get the other smelters. We'll probably get rid of the smelters so we have a little bit more. So first of all, I want to get rid of this lot over here, so we're going to bulk demolition this lot, and that should be pretty good to go like that. So we'll just get rid of them, and that gives us a little bit of room there. We're going to get rid of these smelters, and we're probably going to rearrange this lot over here as well. We're just going to come over here and we're just going to get rid of all of this here. That will give us our smelters back so we can utilize them. So we've got 14 smelters at the moment, so the 8 here plus the 2 we have over there should give us our 24. So that works out just about perfectly. So we're going to get rid of all of this as well. We'll just go like that. Let's see if it will let us bulk demolition this lot now. So there we go, and still haven't got enough room in our inventory. Let's go ahead and just start placing our smelters down, and we will make some room that way. So we need 12 smelters, so we're going to get all of them laid out just around here. Okay, so that's all our smelters all set up nicely. Come to think of it, we haven't got any research going, so we might as well get some of this stuff researched at the same time. It should have plenty of the science packs in storage and ready, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. And now we're just going to set up these ones here. So we're going to get our loaders set up first of all. Just going to pop them just like this. I kind of want to break up the spacing a little bit. So we're going to get all these loaders set up, and then we'll sort the miners out, and then we'll head along and sort this side out. We'll just do one side at a time, I think. So what have we got here? So we need 3 of these outputs, because 1 miner is going to be 3 smelters. So we're just going to kind of do it like this. I think this should work out pretty nicely. And this one here, I'll probably go round in this direction so we can pop them just like that. So now we just need to sort out the conveyor belts for all of these. So this one's probably going to be my first one, this one's second, and them 2 can be the third way back over there. That should work out quite nicely. We've got a gap of 3 here, so yeah, that should work pretty nicely. So we'll do this as the furthest one. I think seems like a good idea. So we're going to drag this one along here, and we're going to go for this one. So that's one done, and then I'll just get this first one set up, and then you probably don't need to watch me do the rest of it, because literally just going to be me laying conveyor belts for a little while. Probably be nicer for me to show you the first couple, and then we can go ahead and have a look at the finished product. And there we go, there's the xenoferrite looking all nice and clean. Do quite like how this looks actually. Looks like our miners have been hard at work. Looks like we might be depleting this at some point, hopefully not too soon, but looks like like we are definitely on our way to making a nice little production line and factory. So let's sort out the other side now. So we just need to get rid of these little conveyor belts here first, and then we can go ahead and we can start with our outputs. So what we need to do is we need to divide these into 6 each, and that's going to be where we're going to get our belts. So we're going to have these ones here, 5 and 6, and then for the other side I'm going to use just the double loaders. Now the reason I want to do this is because it reduces the need of corners, and I think it's just going to look a little cleaner. So we're not going to put them as outputs yet. We're going to get the conveyor belts laid down first, and what we're going to do is drag this all the way along here, and we've got to try and remember where I put them, and that one there, and this one can go straight over to here, and this will be our conveyor belt system going upwards. Now we're going to do the other side, so we can go straight along like this. Not quite going to work how I wanted it to work. This one's an invalid connection because it doesn't like the fact that that's going onto an intake. So what we're probably going to have to do is remove this conveyor belt and that intake. We're going to put the loader here, and hopefully that is going to work. That's kind of annoying that it looks like that. I kind of don't like the way that looks. You might have to move all of these one down. There we go, that looks a lot better like that. And now we just, as I said, put them all as outputs, and we should see everything coming out of the other side of the smelters into plates and all going up here. So that is going to look pretty good. We might as well do our towers going up as well. Might as well get rid of these foundations, to be honest with you. So that's pretty good. So what we can do is now get rid of these just like that. It's probably going to get rid of that conveyor belt, and then we can move this one up to here, and there we go. And that will leave our conveyor belt system up there as well, which is pretty good. We might as well do this side while we've got them out. So that was all kind of there just so I could kind of gauge where I was going and how things were going to be set up. So apart from that, we are kind of just seeing how things go and working things out from there. So now what we're going to do is make our loaders on this side ready for expanding the miners from way over there. So this side is going to be a little bit more complicated than that side, because that side was quite simple with the cyanopyrite. This side's going to be a little bit more difficult to do, but even so it shouldn't be too bad. So we needed to go in one, didn't we? So it's okay. And now we're going to go for the second lane loaders, and we're going to do exactly the same this side, and then we might as well just change all of these to outputs while we're here, and then we'll get the conveyor belts laid down this side because we know what we're doing here. And then we just got to try and work out how we're getting all of the tantalum ore all the way down here from over there, which I haven't kind of planned yet. I thought I would just leave that for the video to try and, you know, figure out how we were doing things. We're going to go right down here. Hopefully we have got enough conveyor belts to do this, otherwise I'll just have to nip to my storage and get some. I'm not really sure what I'm doing, to be honest with you. I've kind of screwed that up completely. How has this happened then? I think I've gone one too far over, haven't I? Yeah, because I've done the 3 instead of just the 2. Okay, not to worry. I do sometimes like to keep my mistakes in the videos because I am only human, and it just goes to show that this is how things turn out sometimes. Or did I have it right? No, I did have it right, didn't I? This is kind of what happens when, you know, I'm trying to narrate as I'm doing things. Kind of get myself a little bit confused. So now we need to make some room over here, which is going to cause a little bit of an issue because I probably haven't got enough room in my inventory for all of this. And we'll try and get rid of half these foundation or building blocks, and there we go. That's created a lot more space. So hopefully now we can kind of get rid of most of this, and so we can kind of plan where we're going. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time. I'm going to delete all of this, probably end up moving a load of stuff into different storages and things like that. So bear with me, I'll get rid of all of this and then we'll get the conveyor belts all done. Okay, so that's everything deleted. That's all the loaders set up on the miners as well. All of that's gone. Just ignore these storage crates just here. I had quite a lot of resources in storage, so I had to find somewhere to put them, so I've just put them there for now. So now we're going to go ahead and link up all of our miners to our smelters. So we have 12 of the outputs over here, so hopefully we're going to have enough room. I don't think we are because our loading pod is in the way. I'm probably going to have to extend this out a little bit and move our loading pod as well. For the meantime, I think we will just demolish it for now. It's only going to be in the way, so we'll get rid of it. it, and we're just gonna go ahead and get this lot moved and get some foundations down so we can expand it, because it's going to be about the same as this. Okay, so now that's sorted, let's get our conveyor belts all sorted. This is going to be the tricky part, as I want to make it as neat as possible. So we're gonna have to come to at least here. So we'll do this one first. We need to leave one gap there to there, and probably a third one over here. So we need to not do what I just did and probably get myself stuck now. Okay, so we're gonna have to build and block, get out of here. Should be very aware of my surroundings because I just made myself fall down a hole. So we're gonna bring this one over to our first one, which is going to be here. So that's that one done perfectly, and then we're going to get these two done as well. So this is a little bit more complicated than our xenoferrite, but we are going to get there. So we're going to bring this one up around here, try and make this look as clean as possible. I think it's going to look pretty good when it's finished. It's all going to look quite smooth, sleek and uniform. So I've got this far and I've kind of changed my mind. I don't want all the conveyor belts sort of over this side because it's only going to spread to about over here, and there's going to be a lot of wasted space on the outside, and obviously I wanted to put storage over this side, so I'm going to get rid of all of these conveyor belts. I'm going to start from this end and bring it across here. Yeah, I'm definitely more happy with that. I think that's definitely better. We've gained quite a bit more space over this side now for storage as well, so I do kind of like the way that looks. So now we're just crafting some more conveyor belts, even though I probably have quite a few in storage, so we'll probably grab those just to finish off going to behind the smelters. Looks like we've already got some on the output there, so let's go ahead and get this finished. So there we have it. There is phase 1 of the bus system complete. We've got all the smelters all going in smelters, and we've got the rods and the plates. So now for the fun and interesting bit is to get some assembly production in line. So my plan is I'm going to basically get sorted the machine parts, the wire coils, the electrical components, and then we'll go for the building blocks, or foundations as I like to call them, because we're going to need a lot of those, the conveyor belts, and then we're also going to get the science pack 1 in production as well. Depending on how long that takes us, we will be going for the loaders as well. But first of all, let's get the simple things out of the way. Let's get the machinery parts, wire coils, and the electrical components done as well. Now you may be wondering how I go into this sort of overhead floaty view, and you may have also noticed that it is 21:45 in-game time and it's still light outside. You're probably wondering how I do that, but if you hold Alt and press U, it brings up the camera tool menu, and to go into the overhead view you just click this cam default, and when you want to go back to normal you just click remove cam. And also you'll notice in the top right hand corner you've got a day and night cycle. I like to turn mine off, so especially when I'm doing sort of bigger builds like this, when I'm just sort of playing the game normally, I will have the day and night cycle going. But for now we're going to go ahead and sort this out. So first of all, what I want to do is bring our main bus system. I want to bring this up a level. Now I like to bring it up a level instead of on floor level, because I like to split my belts up above and then sort of bring them underneath to go off to the assemblers. That's just personal preference, you can do it either way, it's just the way I like to do it. So first of all, let's get machine parts in production. So what we're going to do is we're going to split off our plates. Now you might notice that with the merger slash splitter I can't place it down here like this. If you ever have that issue, what you want to do is just put a block down just like these. If you ever have that issue, you just want to place a couple of blocks here and then it should snap just like that, and then you can just remove these blocks and that should fix your issue. I'm not sure why it snaps to this right hand belt, but that's how you can sort of fix that issue there. So this one is going to carry along the bus system just here, so we can extend this a little bit, and this one is going to come down a level and split off into our conveyor system. So we're just going to bring that down to here. We're just going to rotate this round and bring it just here for now. So our assemblers, what I'm probably going to do here is probably put the inputs at the front and then the output at the back, and we kind of want it spaced away from the bus system a little bit, I think. Okay, so I think 2 assemblers for the machine parts should be about right. Now I don't want to build it too close to the bus system because we will be obviously adding conveyor belts onto this like the machine parts that we're crafting now. So what I'm going to do is start basically over at this end end. And the reason why I want to start this end is because we can always add conveyor belts and loaders sort of inwards until we hit our limit, because we're not sure how long or how wide, our bus system is actually going to be. So this is the way that I like to do it. I've done plenty of testing. I have got a little guide video which shows how to build the bus system as well, and obviously I've shown a lot on how to build it in this sort of episode, but in the other video I have with the bus system, I do quite a lot of testing so you can see what kind of version you like and what ways will suit you best. So we're going to have these just here, and we're going to have machine parts coming out of these. So we'll just select these now before we forget, because I kept forgetting to actually activate the assemblers, which is kind of funny. And then what we're going to do is just put these two belts here like this, and then we can just bring that conveyor belt straight over here. And then what we're going to do is have outputs as well. So as you can see here, we've got 40 inputs a minute and 40 out a minute. So to have maximum output of our assemblers, we should be utilizing 2 outputs. So with an output of 40 per minute, and we know that our belts do 160 per minute, we could have 4 outputs on the assemblers each, but we're not going to stress the system too much. I'm just going to have the 2 assemblers, and I'll probably put 2 outputs just for now. If we need any more, we can always expand that. So we'll put 4 outputs. We don't want to overload the system too much. So with the outputs of the assemblers being 40 per minute, we could technically go for 4 outputs, but that means that we will put our system under a lot of stress. So what I'm going to do is just to slow down that process. I've decided to put 4. I'm actually just going to have the 2, or should I say the 1 output each. I don't want to end up overloading our system too much, as that will generate problems in our sort of smelting and production, because obviously we can upgrade things and speed things up a little bit. So we'll just do that for now, and then from here what we're going to do is just bring our conveyor belt just out like this. We will bring it to here, because then what we're going to do is we're going to have a splitter. So our splitter is going to go here, and then our output is going to go from here all the way back to our bus system, and then we're going to add that into the production line. So we're going to rotate this around, and then we're going to bring this up. So we just want to switch that around, and that will basically enable us to then bring machine parts into our system. So we'll just extend this one out, and now you may have noticed that I've put them quite close together. So we've got 2 lots of plates, which is fine because we've got a gap either side just here. Now you may have noticed that I've put the machinery parts right next to it. Now this is something you kind of want to avoid. You want to kind of leave a gap in between each one. Now don't get me wrong, it might not look as nice, but the issue is, say for instance a bit further out down the line, we do need machine parts and then plates. We've only got room for 1 merger, and it's going to mess up the system completely. So what you could do is sort of bring this one down, and you can put 2 mergers on top of each other, which does look kind of nice, but can be a little bit overwhelming and complicated. So what I like to do is just leave a gap between each one. So we're going to drop this back a little bit, and we're going to bring this just here. Now as I said, this is why your bus system can get quite wide, which is why I decided to place my assemblers right down the bottom, so I know how far I can extend out to. So now we have room for a merger over this side and a merger over this side, and that will take up 2 spaces wide. Now it's just the way I like to do it. As I said, the other way is to kind of bring these down before you split them in a merger. I kind of like the fact that the merger's on top and you can see it disappear down, but all of that stuff is sort of personal preference. So let's carry on, and we will get this one over here. We'll bring this along all the way along here, and we'll create this as our inputs. Now as you can see now, with the conveyor belt being so long, you might think it's wasted space, but when we expand, we can put more assemblers down here, and all we have to do is just put a loader down, and that sorts that problem out. So next we're going to go for the wire coils. So let's have a look at see what we need for wiring coils. We just need titanium rods. Now the more complicated one is going to be the electronic components. So let's get the wire coils all done ready before we go ahead and do that. So we need to get a couple of blocks down just like this, and we're also going to utilize them rods at some point as well. So we will do this like so, try and make it look as uniform as possible, and then what we're going to do is drop this into a down, and then we'll just bring these along. We'll match these ones over here, so that looks good, and then we'll leave that one as it is for now, and then all we want to do is just bring this all the way across, and that's going to to be our inputs. Now, I can't remember how much of a gap we left. I think it was about 3. No, it was only too wide, so we can go a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and get rid of this one. There we go. Now we're going to head over to our assemblers and we're going to get a couple of these popped down. So we're going to get just 2 of those put down for the moment, and we're going to get to our loaders and we're going to pop them straight in and configure our assemblers to wire coils. So those are producing wire coils already, which is absolutely great. And what we're going to do is get our belts on our outputs just here. We'll toggle those just like that, and then we'll get conveyor belt and we'll just swing around this side again. Yep, I think that was exactly where we had it last time. And then what we can do is we'll bring this one out, and that's going to go this way into our storage, and this one over here can go all the way along here, and this will go into our input. So don't forget to leave the one gap this side, and we'll go for up, and then we have our wire coils now. So that's perfect. So now we're going to go for our electrical components, which take both of these resources now. Now the reason why I like having the extra smelters and having the 2 lanes is because obviously this lane here is under a bit of load now, so we don't want to overload it, so we can utilize this second one for our production of electrical components. So straight away what we're going to do is alter this ever so slightly. So we're going to delete these for now. We are going to put 2 blocks here. Then what we're going to do is get to our merger, and we're going to pop our merger slash splitter just here. We're going to get to our downslope and we're going to drop it down straight away here. This one here we can carry it along ever so slightly, so I'll bring that out to here along with the rest of them, just so we can see how it's going as we sort of expand. So we'll bring them out to there, and this one here can go straight round this way. So what we can do is, now we've got a little bit of a gap here, we can make things a little bit more complicated, and we can basically pop that there and to bring this out this way, and hopefully this should give us enough room. So before we get too carried away with our conveyor belts, I just want to get to our assemblers and just make sure that we do have enough room for what we need to be doing. So we're going to change the direction this way. We could do that, and then our output line will just be right here, so pretty close to this one. We can bring it round, put a merger in here, and then carry on going that direction. So that works pretty nicely actually. We'll probably get 2 assemblers down, just the same as everything else for now. We'll just do 2 assemblers, and so we can carry on with our conveyor belt system. So what I wanted to do is bring these as close as possible together, because next we're going to be using the second lane loaders as well. So we can bring these in here, straight down here. We could be saving resources on belts by putting them at the end, but I kind of like them in the middle, kind of how I like to do things. Everyone has their own personal preference, which is absolutely fine. You can do. So we will do that, and we'll get rid of that one. And we've kind of messed this up a bit because we've gone too close, haven't we? So yeah. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have to reinvent things ever so slightly. So conveyor belts, we need to get rid of these because yet again I have, you know, made a mistake, which I am only human. So we'll just bring them all the way around here, and we'll get this section filled up as well. So now what we can do is get to our second lane loaders in here, and they can go like that, and then we'll get our single lane loaders just like that. We will configure these to do the electrical components, and configure this one electrical components as well. So that will be doing that, and now we just need to sort out our rods over here. So what I might do is, yeah, I think we'll extend it a little bit, split it around here, and then merge it into this lane over here. I don't want it to be too sort of odd and weird, so hopefully this now will snap like that because we have a conveyor belt, and then we just need a conveyor belt over here to link to that one. So absolutely perfect. That's producing rods down there now, sending them over to here. So now we can sort our outputs out. So let's go ahead and just stick with the one output just like this, and we'll bring the conveyor belt around to the side again, just like we have been doing so far. We'll bring it round to here, and we will stick our merger slash splitter over here, and then we can have this one as storage, and we can bring this one all the way back and link this onto the outside, or we could even, because we have an extra space in the middle, we could always bring it over this way as well, which I'm thinking would be kind of nice, but I think I might leave these 2 spare spots here for the building blocks and conveyor belts, although I think we'll only find bit 1 in there, so we'll go for over here for now. So we need to remember not to go too close together, and then we can bring this up like this, and then we can link that to the system as well. So our bus system is coming across quite nicely, and we'll just bring this out as well. I've kind of messed up here, haven't I? I need to not bring that one down, I need to bring this one down over here. I thought something looked a bit odd, to be honest with you, but there we go. Now we can bring this one along here, and it should look all uniform now. I did think something looked a bit odd, but there we go, we have it all sorted. And we need to switch these to outputs. I completely forgot to do that, so we'll swap that to outputs. That's what I mean, I always forget to do something along the line. So that's now in outputs, and we should be producing some of these electrical components. We are at 20 per minute, which is good. So that's now entered our bus system as well, so it's coming together quite nicely. So let's see what's next on our list. So we want building blocks, which is just rods and plates, and we also want conveyor belts, which are plates and machinery parts. So that one should be quite simple because they're relatively close together. So plates and rods are going to be probably the more complicated one, but to be honest it shouldn't be too bad. And I think actually I will put the building blocks in the middle because they use both of these. So what I will do is use this one here, this lane here, and then what we'll do is probably use this lane here. Every time we go through a different assembler, I'll probably alternate just to reduce the strain on the components themselves. Looks like we might need to move our research server, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So we need plates and rods, so I can probably merge the rods or drop them down just here, which I think might be quite nice to do. So we will get rid of this one here, that is fine there. We need to get rid of this one though because it is a bit too long, and then we can just put that there, and then we can bring this down like so. So could move that back a little bit maybe just to hide all that. I might do that actually. I think that might be a good idea. We'll pop that there, and then we can then get our merger and pop it here just like that. That will kind of, yeah, hide that a little bit and bring it down a little bit sooner. Do like the way that works, so that's good. And we can bring this down, and then what we can do is get our conveyor belt and we'll just bring it straight across here. So that is going to be our rods, and then we are going to get our plates as well. So we do want our plates to come down at the same time as our rods, and what we're going to do is first of all place one of these here, and then we'll bring our down over here just so we can map it out a little bit better. Bring that round, and then we know exactly where our merger is going to go now. So that is going to go directly there. Perfect. Okay, so now we have our plates and our rods entering down here. We'll bring that down a little bit, I think. Yeah, that should go quite nicely. Now all we need is our assemblers. So what we can do is kind of do this in reverse, so we know where things are going to go. We can put our outputs just here, so now we know where our assemblers are going to go exactly. The research center can stay where it is for the moment, which is pretty good. We can pop that there, and there we go. We know that this is going to be our output, but one issue is a bit too close to this one, so that's going to be our output, and we're going to bring it round here, so that's good. So we might as well just carry on from where we left off and go round to here. We're going to bring this round into a merger, so we'll stick our merger just here, and then get our conveyor belts back out, and that will go just directly along here, and we will add that in as and when. So next we need our loaders, so we're going to go for our single lane, and we're going to go for our second lane and loaders, and then we're going to configure these to building block. So that's that sorted. Now we can just bring our conveyor belt system down. So I kind of left these here for a reason. We're going to just bring them underneath, I think, just a little bit, and we're going to need one going this way, so we will just bring that round to this, and then the other one can go this way, and that means we've still got our gap as well, which works out just perfectly. So we can bring them to here, and then what we have is this section here. Now I did say I wanted the blocks in the middle, so what we need is our up, and we need to go to here. We are trying to make this as compact as possible as well, so it's where things are going to get a little bit fiddly, but we should be good. We should be able to figure this out quite nicely. and we are just going to go ahead and do it this way round, which is actually working real nice, very nice and compact, and I like the way it's looking. So we've now got foundation blocks added to the middle as well, so I'm definitely liking the way this is going at the moment, definitely looking good. So we'll just bring all of these out just here. We've got 2 lots of plates, we've got our building blocks coming out here, which is pretty good. So next on the list is conveyor belts. Conveyor belts are a must, especially as we are expanding. So that is just plates and machinery parts, which is very nice because they're both here. Okay, so let's get the conveyor belts sorted, because as I said, we're going to need a lot of conveyor belts and we're going to need a lot of building blocks. But I have just realized this whole time I haven't been researching anything, so I think it's about time we research something, and I think logistic containers 2 are going to be perfect to research, although it takes steel beams. So maybe steel making is something we need to research, because it looks like we need to add something else to a assembly line, which is going to be steel beams. We'll research the steel making just for now, we'll delve into that a bit later, probably not in the next episode, but later on. Anyway, enough of rambling, let's get on and start making some of these conveyor belts. So we're gonna go ahead and work backwards again, just so I can get the conveyor belts actually in the right position. So what we're going to do is put our smelters here again. I don't really need to leave a gap, so I think what we'll do is I'll get them nice and close together. So that's that sorted, and we need to get our outputs just here again. Make sure I switch these to actually outputs this time. So I bring the conveyor belt round here, and that's where we're going to stick our merger in, and we're going to bring that out as well. So let's first of all get our loaders in position. We'll put our single loaders in here. Looks like we're running out of power as well. Apparently we have no power. Looks like our system is under a lot of stress at the moment, but that's not too much of an issue. We will sort that out in due course. So let's go ahead and expand this one out. We can bring this one all the way over to here, and that will add conveyor belts into our system and bring that up. And that's the conveyor belts done. So now we can just link these straight over here. So we'll bring them straight over there, and we'll bring this straight over here as well. So now we know roughly where they're going to go, we can decide where we're going to split them. So I think splitting them pretty much here is going to be absolutely perfect. So what I'm going to do is probably split this one just here, probably split these just after, to be honest with you. So we'll rotate this round to here, and hopefully it's not going to let me do it, which is slightly annoying. So what we're going to do is, okay, so that's slightly frustrating because we can't put any blocks down here. Okay, so we'll have to kind of rearrange that plan. I want it just here. Thank you. So you will let me do it like that. That's good to know. Okay, so that's the only thing with these mergers, is it can be kind of fiddly. Should have kind of built these the other way round in a sense. Get this. Don't want them too close, just in case they end up going into the same merger. That's going to be another issue we're going to have. It's still not going to let us do it like that though, which is very annoying. But we can just do it this way round. So let's pop this just here. There we go. So we have both the mergers in the same place, which is going to make this a little bit difficult now, as I think we're going to have a little bit of snaking going on, but we're going to make it work. It's what we're here for, making things work. Kind of looks a bit funky, but we're just basically utilizing the space that we've got without making things too big. Try and make it all as compact as possible is basically what I'm trying to do. I don't want to take up too much unnecessary space if we can help it. So we're going to go like that, and we're going to go up here with a nice gap, and there we go, we have that sorted. So now we can bring these out again, and we should be able to see everything we have in production now. We just need to sort out our power problem, don't we? Because we haven't got anything in production at the moment because we have completely run out of power. So let's go and have a look and see what issue we have with the power. We'll just go over to our temporary power plant over here. Maybe I need to build another generator, because these seem to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, but grid status So we've got a lot of consumers by the looks of it. So what we're probably going to need is build another burner generator. We'll craft 2 of those and we'll just basically extend our little operation here a little bit. I'm not sure what the input of these are, but it's only 3, so I probably don't need these ones here. So we'll get rid of these in preparation, and what we'll do is expand our foundation just over here a little bit, and we'll do the same this side, and that will give us room for another 2 generators, which should solve the power problem we are having. Okay, so now what we need is another generator over here. We're going to pop it, we're just going to pop it right next to it, and we're going to put another one over here. Now what we need is our loaders, so we're going to have one over here without falling down the hole like I normally do, and we're going to do one there, and then we're just going to link these together, and that should solve our power issue. And then we just want to bring this over to here. There we go. So hopefully that has solved our power issue. It looks like we should be good with power now. Let's just head on up and just double check, unless something really odd is going on and for some reason my power is not transferring up to this 2nd floor, which is a little bit odd because it was working perfectly fine before, so I'm not really sure what's happening here. Don't seem to have any power down here, which is really bizarre because I did have plenty of power. I see. That would explain why we didn't have any power. So we might as well extend this foundation while we're here. So now we should have power all up and running and everything back online. So let's head on up and double check. Well, it looks like it because our conveyor belts are moving, and looks like we have everything back online. So that's good. Let's just double check that we did set these ones up. We didn't. I knew I was forgetting something, so they need to be conveyor belts. I'm always forgetting to set the assemblers up. Does anyone else do that, or is it just me? Okay, so I think this video has probably gone on long enough. We've got all the essentials pretty much running. The only thing we haven't done is science packs, but we'll make sure we do that for the next episode. But I think now is probably a good time, now we've got the building blocks and we've got the conveyor belts, is to sort out our storage system. So that's what's going to be coming up in the next episode. We're going to be sorting out our storage system, start utilizing the space we have underneath here for the conveyor belts for our storage. I have a couple of ideas of what I want to do, but if you've enjoyed that video and you've learned a little bit about bus systems and how to set them up, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe as well to follow along on the Let's Play series, and also to see the tips and tricks videos I have coming as well. It's been Kryptonite here. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate every one of your support, and I will see you in the next video.